sisters. Hello, women of power. Hello, goddesses awakening. Hello, fellow undomesticated women and women who are bent and determined to break the shackles of OPE. This is Tony from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure. I am the founder of Freedom at the Crossroads. I am a podcaster, blogger, writer, and entrepreneur. And my ultimate passionate goal is to effectively empower women to change their state, to embrace self-care, and become empowered, undomesticated women in the process. And today, I just want to set the backdrop against self-care. The backdrop for today's discussion is self-care, or rather the context. And I want to talk about something that's been on my mind, and I've discussed with some other women around why women have so much shame and guilt associated with asking for what they want and actually what is theirs. And I've come to the conclusion that it's the result of this domestication and conditioning, largely. I know I have often gone to the past and talked about, what women have experienced throughout history and for decades and historically and so on and so forth. But the truth of the matter is we are a product of our experiences. And generationally, women all over the world, and I speak to women all over the world, we have, in varying degrees, some are at the extreme and others more moderate, but the truth of the matter is women have been conditioned and domesticated into accepting themselves as being objects of men in general, largely patriarchal molds and power structures have kept women subjugated. And we, in varying degrees, some, call it second-class citizenry. Others say women are, pushed into certain molds and certain ways of thinking. But the truth of the matter is women have been conditioned. They have been objectified. And they have been domesticated. And when you don't value yourself, or you see your value through someone else's eyes, it's very difficult to take ownership of something that is yours. And that is what a lot of women are experiencing even today. That is what a lot of women have experienced historically. And we have had the odd breakout where women have, stood up for themselves. But largely women have been conditioned and domesticated into silence, not voicing their needs, not voicing their wants, and definitely not embracing their dreams, their passions, the things that truly drive them and give them fodder for their power, power to activate who they are, their core selves, all those things that fire us up, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All those things that fire us up, that drive and motivate us and actually cause us to blossom and flourish and burn with the fire and light of who we are, because we have embraced our power, we have embraced our purpose. and gifts. And when you do that, when you rise up, when you embrace your power, when you embrace your gifts, your core self, and truly value yourself from the internal rather than through the eyes of someone else, guess what? You set the world on fire. And there are a lot of entities within the power structures around the world, largely male-dominated and patriarchal societies and structures that have been put in place in society, are very afraid of that changing. You've got to remember, those in power, those who hold the reins of power, particularly over other people, it's to their benefit to maintain the status quo. And so we live in an age now where women are becoming more vocal because of the age we live in, with the level of technology, particularly in social media. Those voices are becoming louder. You have the Me Too movement becoming louder. You have women speaking out, hashtag Me Too, and so on and so forth. Women are saying no more. We're not going to take it anymore. We're beginning to break the silence. And that is causing a lot of pushback. And we see that with the current cycle of legislation here in the U.S. that's attacking women's reproductive rights. But let's be clear. This is attacking women in general. It's attacking our power. Part of your power comes from self-ownership. And when you don't have the power over self, that's a problem. And so how does that relate to, feelings of shame and guilt and whatnot? Well, it's a historical thing. It's a generational thing. Women have been told, women do this, women do that. Oh, be a good woman, be a good girl. Girls don't fight. Girls don't do this. Girls are not loud. That's all an attempt to dominate, to silence. And when you break that silence, when you break that silence in any area of your life, and I'm speaking of now, I'm segueing now into self-care. When you break that silence in one area and begin to set boundaries and demand and take back your power in one area, it causes a ripple effect. And that is the power of self-care. It is an avenue, a pathway, a tool, a mode for reclaiming your power, reclaiming self, reclaiming your voice. And again, ladies, I leave you on the cliff here for you to discuss and think and ruminate on what it means to break the silence and why we still have these feelings of shame and guilt over asking for what we need, particularly when it comes to refilling our cups, refilling our wells, and who we are as women, and attending to self and nourishing self. This is Tony at Freedom at the Crossroads, helping you look better, feel better without the pressure of OPE, other people's expectations. Till next time, my sisters, rise.